Hey everybody, welcome back to the Nexus, where we spotlight some of our favorite local businesses, especially business owners. I am really excited for you to meet Tessa Warner today. She's with Monarch Home Real Estate, and she's amazing. So I'm really delighted for you to get to know her. Thanks for coming in today, Tessa.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to talk to you.
It's always a blast when we hang out.
I agree.
So
I agree.
I'm really excited. I'm not sure where this is going to go, but it's going to be
It's going to
awesome.
be so fun.
Well, we always like to start the show with our guests just telling us a little bit about themselves, where you're from, and like kind of your history, your background.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I'm from a small Nebraska town, Arlington, Nebraska, and went to the university. I actually went to the university to be a sports writer. I thought that, I was in journalism.
Were you a big athlete?
I was, well, in high school, yes, let's know. I mean, I enjoyed playing more than I was very good, but we had a really good team, and it was really fun, and learned a ton from sports. But it was one of those things where I was a teenager, and I'm like, well, I was told I'm good at this, and I like this, so why don't I do that?
Right.
And
I was thinking about that the other day when kids decide what they're going to be when they grow up. It's based on the smallest, minute amount of information.
Absolutely. And
you're from Northeast Nebraska because you said, oh, absolutely. I've had this conversation with a friend of mine on the show.
God, that's so funny.
She's from Scribner, so.
Oh, yeah. Scribner's not too far
absolutely.
from. Yeah, well, absolutely. Not too far.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, sorry to interrupt you.
So,
Arlington, sports.
Arlington, Nebraska, played sports, was, enjoyed writing, English, all that kind of fun stuff. And so when I got to college, that's what I put them together, and
bada bing,
bing. Exactly. And then did some really fun stuff in college. Worked for the Daily Nebraskan, which was my favorite thing. Worked for the athletics department for a while, which was super fun. And then right out of college, pursued something totally different. I worked in the state legislature for a year.
Oh my gosh.
Amazing experience. Everybody should work in politics for like 1 year.
A hot minute.
Yes. And then after that, thought I wanted to go back to writing, so went to Sandhills Publishing for a while. Great company. Really hard to wear skirts and pantyhose every day, not going to lie.
Yeah.
But it was an amazing company to work for, but then moved on to the University Foundation, where I was in a very odd role, research. But met the most amazing people at the University Foundation.
That would have been really interesting.
To this day, still have great friends from there. Love the university fundraising division, all that stuff. But then wasn't really growing in the direction I wanted to. And this crazy opportunity to manage the Rail Yard Entertainment District came up. So I jumped on it.
Well, now it's like the hot thing.
That was the hot
time,
thing. So I was actually
be in the middle of it.
It was so interesting.
Yeah.
It was an amazing experience. It was the hardest thing I've ever done. I just look back on it with a lot of mixed emotions because it was so hard, but it was just such an amazing learning experience for me. And so when I was ready to retire from that, I didn't know at all what I was going to do. I had a couple different and I just came out of this crazy experience, this crazy chapter of my life, and I'm like, what do I do next? I have no idea. And so one of my mentors, Bob Caldwell, he encouraged me. I actually had gotten a real estate license while I was working for that real estate development company, and ended up going up to Fallbrook, working at Woods Brothers up in Fallbrook, and selling new construction lots. And from there, I just completely fell in love with real estate. And
it brings together a lot of your skills.
It really
it's
has.
like you just didn't know it all along. All of those experiences.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
It added to your value that you bring as a realtor.
It really, it seems like such a bizarre path. Like I was hopping, all these things that didn't seem connected, but then all of a sudden I got to the place that connected all the dots.
Yeah.
And it really has. I'm so grateful for all of these random, different, amazing experiences because you're right. Like where I'm at now is where I'm meant to be, and I'm so grateful that I had those experiences.
I feel very similar about my work history and how nothing really felt like it was the right fit, but it was what I should have been doing at the time. Yeah. And they all really did lead me to where I'm at today.
Sure.
And someone gave me this great quote. We were in a strategic leadership meeting, and someone was like, you can only connect the dots when looking in reverse.
It's so true.
And that's really stuck with me, and I'm like thinking, going through a hard thing right now, and like, there will be a point in time in the future where I look back and I'm like, that had to happen because
oh gosh,
this.
I'm
just waiting for the this.
And it'll come, and then you'll be like, oh, okay,
cool. That was. Yeah, it feels worth it now.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate because it's hard to have gratitude in the moment of the hard thing that you're going through.
Yeah.
That gratitude comes later on when you're able to reflect and say, okay, that was that necessary piece that I needed.
And that last job, that was like the really hard one for you, was like where you got your most growth.
Oh my goodness.
And that's what launched you into this awesome career because you're super awesome at it.
And I met some amazing people in that chapter of my life. And, I don't know how I could be where I am today without that chapter. Yeah. But during it was hard.
Network had to like explode.
Oh, for sure.
And that helps in real estate if you just know the whole town. So.
Absolutely does help.
Like a political background.
Yeah, I know. I did kind of I kind of grabbed at a little bit of everything in this community. So I'm grateful that they've continued to let me run a business here.
Well, I know that you love to set yourself apart from other realtors. You have some special things that you do for your clients that really make the experience amazing. I want you to talk about a few of those things that make you a little bit different and why working with Monarch would be a really great fit for our audience.
For me, service and hospitality is an absolute essential part of the real estate process. And, I'm here not just to sell a property. I'm here to help somebody transition their life. Yeah. And anybody who comes to me, whether it's a good transition, a bad transition, easy, difficult, whatever, it's a transition. You're closing a chapter and you're opening a new one. And that's something that I never want to take for granted when people are asking me for their help. So, because of that, I want to take care of those people. And over time, I've learned, the best way to present a property, the best way to help somebody through that buying process. And for me, especially on the listing side, we've been able to do some really cool things and create some really great experiences just by rolling our sleeves up and doing a little bit extra that some people may not do, like staging homes.
I've
staging
seen some before and after pictures of homes that you've staged, and it's incredible.
Thank you.
It just totally opens up the space and makes it look like $1 million. I mean, if you really want to go after like a high listing price and get it, that's the way to do it. But it takes work.
Oh my gosh, it's so much work. And you can't, but I can never unsee the difference between a home that's been staged and a home that's not staged. Right. And now that I know that this is the very best way to present a property, I can't go back to habits and tools and things that I know aren't going to give somebody the best opportunity to have the easiest process, to have the best price point, all of those things. So, it's just been, it's hard though.
You care about your clients and you want to make sure that this really big asset in their life, turns into dollars.
Exactly.
You really do help. And I think that's,
thank you.
It's cool. It's cool to see what you can do.
Thanks.
And you have a great eye for design and detail. And
thank you. I copy a lot of people.
Sure.
I look at magazines and I go, oh, that's how they set up that fireplace? Okay. Copy paste. I can find a pillow and a basket and a whatever.
Yeah.
So I think it will.
Oh, awesome. I mean, that's what we all do, really.
Yes. Right.
Tell me about some of the kind of subsets of clients that you've really found a niche with, or a particular client that you thought was really difficult.
Yeah.
maybe some examples of people that you've
Sure.
helped through this process.
I think number one, this what we call the step up client, right? They're ready to sell their starter home. The realtor that they've had before maybe has retired or moved on to a different profession, and so they're kind of left without real estate guidance. And I can pop in and help them prepare that timeline, because it can be hard, to match up all of the dates, match up all of the events. Are we going to sell first? Are we going to buy first? How's that going to work? So I really love digging in with that client and helping them transition from the home that they're in now to their new home. So that brings me a lot of joy. Plus, it's a lot of people my age, right? So I'm helping my friends. I'm helping my friends' friends. But then the other piece that I found really, really rewarding are helping some of the senior community members move on to their next chapter. So sometimes that's moving into a nursing home or moving in with a family member. But the emotion around selling the family house, right? The house that the kids grew up in, that they had family Christmases in, the mom and dad have been here for 35 years. I watched that transition in my own family happen just the last couple of years. And I always, I think, had an appreciation, but it's different when you see your family go through it. It's so hard. It is so emotional, and there's so much stuff.
Oh my gosh, the amount of
stuff. It's just, there's stuff. And
this stuff is just as difficult as the moving of the stuff.
It's so true. And you have to.
It's like a little part of your soul,
It is. And, so giving people the grace to be able to grieve and to feel the feels. But what do you do with this amazing, beautiful heirloom piece that no one wants anymore, because that's not how we live now. Grandma bought it and it was going to be passed down from generation to generation, and now all of a sudden we live in this Target culture, where we're all going to Target to get the stuff and whatever, and nobody wants now the heirloom piece. What do you do with it? And helping people through that, connecting them with the resources. I've got some amazing community partners that I can help connect people to, that just really can make that transition a little bit easier, because you don't have to do it alone. And you should not do it alone.
Right. You'll drive yourself crazy.
Oh my gosh. Exactly.
Yeah, just having that person to reach out to when you're at a breaking point in this hecticness is just so valuble.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
What are some tips you could give people if they're thinking about selling or buying? Maybe you want to take a stab at that side of things. But what are some things that they should do before they get started with the process?
For one, if you're buying a house, educating yourself on the financial part. I mean, I have some really great mortgage partners that I connect people with, but just making sure that you feel financially ready is a big piece of buying a house. And then, when you go through that transition of, okay, we're ready to go look for something, and then now we got to sell this guy over here, focusing on that next step, the buy step, helps really make the listing side a little bit easier, right? Because this is, and I will tell you, the listing side is the least amount of fun. Buying a house, I mean, it's scary, it's all the things, but it's more fun than
you get to
selling, because you got to
create a vision of where your life is headed.
Exactly. But to make that listing side go as smoothly as possible, it's really not rocket science. Fix what's broken. Go around and identify deferred maintenance thing. We all have them. I mean, my house, I couldn't sell my house today. I'd have to have $1 million and 1 million hours of projects before I can sell my house today, So we don't live like that. Yeah. But, taking care of the deferred maintenance projects, making sure that, the condition of your home is as good as possible, that is going to make buyers who come into your home see your house as a great value on the market. They're not going to go in and see all the dollar signs, because buyers always overestimate, what they're going to have to spend. But if you just get those deferred maintenance items done,
right?
Again.
And I've heard you use the good, better, best before. It's okay, if you can get all of the junk out of a room.
Yeah.
That's
great.
Good. You know, like, but better would be like removing some large items.
Yes.
You know, if you have a space to put them. And
Yep.
just thinking through all those. But you'll help people, which is huge. Like, it's.
And I never want to push anybody beyond where they're wanting to be, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're right to point out the good, better, best, because you're right. Good is like clean it. We're okay.
And that's literally all you have the capacity for.
That's all you have the capacity for.
It's not like you would not list the house.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
if they want to make it better,
yes,
here are some solutions.
Yes, take out the giant dresser that's, you know, going to be distracting to somebody. Take out the, you know, workout equipment that doesn't maybe go in that one corner of the basement, really, you know.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of better, and then best is like, it all goes.
Yeah.
You're getting a storage unit. You're gonna keep 3 pairs of underwear, 2 shirts, and a pair of pants. And that's all you get in the house for the foreseeable future, right?
Yeah. Good luck.
So we do have that best, you know, and
sometimes that works out for people.
Oh my
like
gosh, you'd
timing
be amazed
wise.
how many people are willing to do best because they can see the bigger vision. But again, you know, I try to meet people where they're at.
Yeah.
And sometimes good is where people are at, and that's okay. We'll work with it. I got you.
Right.
It'll be fine.
And it'll all be okay.
It'll all be fine. Everything is figure-outable.
Yes, that's
my
a great
favorite
one.
phrase.
It's figure-outable.
Yes.
That's a tomorrow problem.
Right? Sometimes, yeah. Exactly.
We'll talk about that tomorrow.
Yes.
Okay, so do you have anything? I think you said you had something fun coming up. What's going on?
I'm so excited.
Oh.
So we're gonna a couple different things actually. Number one, so Monarch Homes at Remax Concepts, we are going to host our first event.
Ooh.
And it's going to be you know, it's a client appreciation party. And it's a pet costume contest. So
oh my gosh, how fun!
I know, I'm so pumped.
Can I bring Carl?
Yes, you can. Oh, yeah, dress him up. I know.
Oh, I have.
Maggie and I have a matching costume. It'll be great.
Oh my gosh, I should match Carl.
Yes. So if you're a client, get ready because those invitations are going to be headed out soon. The next thing that we have is I'm actually spinning off the staging part of my business to its own business. So
Awesome.
Monarch Home Staging is getting launched here in the next couple weeks.
Oh, wow,
Yep,
that's big
we've
news.
got a couple gals who are going to be helping us do that. And, you know, for me, it is a lot of work. And so I want to be able to provide that service and still be available, you know, for my clients who have other needs.
Showing.
And it's a lot to do both. And so spinning off the staging piece is going to be great. Chantel Gillespie is our partner in that. She's a great stager. She's also a real estate agent. So she's going to be part of that venture. But Monarch Home Staging, super excited.
That's so cool. So then, like if someone was doing a for sale by owner.
Exactly. Yes. Other real estate agents for sale by owner.
Oh, nice.
We're hoping, you know, my listings and Chantel's listings are like our primary client. And then as we continue to grow, we'll add on, hopefully, real estate agents outside. Yeah.
That's so smart. I'm
really excited about
That's exciting. Congratulations.
I mean, I have all this furniture and I got to do something with it.
Yeah, right?
I can't go back in my storage unit.
It's making you money.
Exactly. And I just don't have room in my storage unit for everything to come back in.
That's funny. Well, I mean, between a dog costume and a new business, how do you have time for everything?
I have a very patient, lovely, wonderful husband who lets me be
let's
me.
give Mark a shout out.
Mark gets a shout out. Mark lets me be me and lets me do my thing, which I couldn't do this without him, and his patience is so appreciated. My parents live in town. They're super helpful. You know, my mom's always texting me, do you need anything today?
Aww.
Yeah, so
How
it's
sweet.
great to have them in town. And then I just have such an amazing network of friends like you. And, you know,
I'm so lucky to be considered in that group.
Friends on the lending side, friends on the title side. I mean, you can't do real estate alone, and you don't build businesses alone. You know, there's no way that you can do this on your own. So I have had lots of wonderful mentors, lots of great help along the way.
That's so cool. Do you want to give a shout out to a mentor? You did
Oh my
one
gosh,
already.
yes.
But...
Joanne McCoy has always been such. I always go back to her. She was my first mentor at Woods Brothers, and she's an amazing realtor. Carolyn Hofer, she's an amazing realtor. She's done a great job, and I love watching her journey.
Yeah.
But I feel like every time you're in a transaction, I'm always trying to learn from the person that you're working with. And those relationships are so important.
Yeah.
And I know that I can learn a lot from how they're doing their business. So I want to say, I know it sounds cheesy, but really, truly, we have such an amazing industry in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Yeah.
That I learn from people every day.
Well, people are really giving and willing to share what they know.
For sure.
I think that's just one of the best parts about Lincoln.
And I have a business coach, Denise. I should probably mention her. She's fantastic.
Hey, Denise.
Hey, Denise. I don't even think I have time to mention all the people that I couldn't do this thing without.
Right. Oh, that's so nice. So your parents moved here from Arlington?
Yeah, they did a couple years ago.
Fun.
And they had a nice realtor over here helping them find a house.
Oh, that's right, because you did say that you sold the family.
Yeah, well,
house.
I referred that out because that's it. Number one,
Local.
driving back and forth to Arlington is hard, but I did refer that out. And then my grandmother's house.
And it's personal to you, so
sure.
it's hard to be like...
it's hard.
Yeah.
It's really hard to sell.
You can't be your own lawyer, and you probably...
Right.
Or you shouldn't be.
Exactly.
You probably shouldn't be your own realtor.
Right, exactly. And I think about that, too, when I sold my last house, because I did sell it on my own. I'm like, I wonder if I gave myself the best deal on that. Because it is hard to represent yourself.
Yeah.
It's way easier to fight for somebody else sometimes.
It is. That's true.
But so they're in town here, and I'm just so appreciative of them being close.
What did they do for a living?
They're public school teachers.
Oh.
So my mom, kindergarten teacher, and my dad, music teacher. So that was another path growing up. Is I wanted, when I was really young, I wanted to be what is now the next Taylor Swift. So,
I see it. You totally could be.
Well,
you maybe still will be.
The talent piece was lacking, and nobody wants to see my dance moves.
Okay.
So
stick to
real estate.
Fine. It could just be the next career move, though. We did hear about a lot of career changes.
That's true.
But I think the message here is it's okay if you're out there doing something that you don't know if this is really for you. It probably is for you in the grand scheme of things. So just keep sticking with it. Be open-minded to what could be, and the right thing will find you.
And I think you would agree, too, as an entrepreneur, we're all just flying by the seat of our pants.
Oh, yeah. Nobody actually knows what they're doing.
I don't know what I'm doing. And I started a new CRM process this week. I know. And then you're like, nope, that didn't work, so I guess we'll do something else, So I
can't believe you just the
world totally clueless, and now we're doing this. Yeah, I agree.
I think everyone can relate to that. So.
Yes.
Well, do you have any closing messages for my Nexus fans?
I know. I just love what you're building here. It's so fun to be able to see you and grow your business, and it's been awesome. I'm just so grateful for our friendship, and I think that what you're building here is really great.
Thank you. I didn't expect that to turn around to me. That was very sweet.
You're one of my many role models.
Oh, likewise. That is right back at you. Well, I really appreciate everybody tuning in. Thank you, Tessa, for spending a day with me. And everybody, I hope you have a great weekend, and we'll see you in a few weeks. Bye.